Good afternoon and welcome back to Yimmy Empowerment, the Empowered Life channel for everything inspiring, encouraging and uplifting. My name is Yvonne, in case you didn't know, and I set up this channel and I set up this company to, through my experiences, talents and skills, to empower, uplift and inspire other people. Now, I am right at the beginning of this journey and you may be wondering why I haven't done another video on this channel between now and the last one, which I think was about a month ago. There's a method to the madness, really, because I wanted to wait until I got the old season of my life tied up and dealt with before I launched into the new season. And the video I did on this channel was really just about an introduction that, you know, this was coming and that, you know, to look out for it. But now I can actually say my last day was on Thursday the 29th of March, that I no longer work for an employer. Yes, that big scary step of stepping out into the unknown. But in all honesty, I have been planning this for a while. I first had the idea for Yimmy Empowerment back 5 years ago, but that's not what I was thinking of the name of it back then. If you don't know, Yimmy means Yvonne Ellis Media Events, and empowerment basically speaks for itself. But about a year ago, I think December 2016, I was just at a place where I was really unhappy in my job, and I really wanted to just step out and do what I love, which is creating things, inspiring people, helping people with what I have to share. So from January 2017, I had a plan of what I wanted to do, and I just followed it through at every single step. And, you know, before I was kind of dithering at the edge, thinking, oh, I want to leave, but this, but that, and kept going to the edge and stepping back from the edge and going to the edge and looking over and then coming back. But I have actually done it. I've actually left traditional employment. Now, the next part for me is just about now marketing what I'm doing and stuff. And I've already got work lined up with Yimmy Empowerment, and as I said before, I'm planning to do some short blogs, some short vlogs about me, you know, going about doing different things, you know, to inspire people. This is what this channel is about. But today what I want to talk to you about is 3 signs that it may be time for you to quit your job. And I'm just talking from my experience, because I have worked for the last 10 years in quite difficult environments. Somebody like me who's quite an emotional person, sensitive person, creative person, these type of environments have kind of been quite challenging at times, but I don't regret working in them, because they have given me some of the essential skills needed to be able to go forward and do the things that I'm going to be doing now. So these 3 things are based off my experiences of what signs that I realized that it was time for me to quit my job. So the first one is, you've outgrown your job. Yep, that's right. What I found is that I had outgrew this job. I had been there for 4.5 years. But I recognised, I would say in July 2016, that actually I had outgrown the job, and it was no longer a challenge for me. I'd done everything that I wanted to do. In terms of career prospects and stuff, there wasn't really anywhere else to go. Obviously you could go to a new department or whatever, but I knew I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to stay boxed in, because I had a plan and something in my heart that I really wanted to do. So the signs that I was just outgrowing this job, I became demotivated, found it hard to maintain motivation. I got bored quite easily. Another a very unhealthy sign was complaining. I think in the atmosphere of everything, I turned into a complainer. Yeah, and I just found it hard to focus. So for me, that was one of the signs that it was time for me to move on, because I'd outgrown the job. But I still stayed a further 1.5 years. I think that part for me was just about a learning journey, thinking about what is it I wanted to do. I needed to get down a plan of exactly what I wanted to do. And as I said to you, January 2017, I started to execute that plan. I started to think about all the things that I wanted to offer and what I had and what I could use to create resources to contribute towards my family financially. But yeah, that was one of the major signs for me that I had outgrown a job. I was just demotivated. I found the work unchallenging, and yeah, there was just nowhere else for me to go. The second sign that I found that kind of was a flag for me that I had outgrown the job, and it may be something that you experienced too, was that you become unhappy. I was really unhappy. I had to deal with some very difficult situations. I found it hard to, say Sunday night, to get up to go work the next day. I used to find I'd have anxiety about going into the work environment. I was really unhappy. When I weighed up why I was staying there, it was because of a paycheck, but I wasn't feeling any sense of joy. I wasn't feeling any sense of happiness. I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to be there, And it's not nothing negative against the employer that I had. It was just a very difficult environment to be in, and I was just unhappy. I wasn't getting any joy, any kind of life from the work, even though there was part of my job actually, which was doing the events, which I absolutely loved. But even towards the end of that, because of everything else that was going on, it kind of drew away from my joy of doing those events. But I actually love and still do love doing the events. And apart from those events, which were just once a year, I found that I was just really unhappy with everything, and just being there really for a paycheck. So for the longest time, I have been trying to finish a few books. I have been doing other things, productive things of my time, and I love being able to write books. I love being able to do speaking events. I love being able to create workshops and go and deliver them, and to mix with people and to talk to people. But I found I just could not do that. And I worked part-time here in this job, but on my days off, which were the Fridays, I would be out doing other things, because as well I have an organisation called Daughter Arise, and I do a lot of work helping other people on that organisation. So there was really very, very little time to concentrate on the things that I was passionate about, my dreams, my aspirations. And that, as I said before, was part of my unhappiness, but also as well, I spent a lot of time thinking about it. I spent a lot of time at my pay job thinking about all the things that I could be doing if I wasn't here, if I was, out there, being able to have that time. Because really, what was preventing me from being able to move forward and do the things that I wanted to do was time. There's only so much hours in the day. Besides being a founder and director of a support organisation, I am a wife, a mother. I was working a part-time job, and time was really, really scarce. I found I couldn't finish my books that I'd started to write, and I'm a person who is quite consistent in everything that I do. If I say I'm going to do something, I will just do it. It may take a little longer, or it might be a shorter time, but I always end up doing it. But I just found that I could not do the things that I needed to do. And I spent a lot of time daydreaming at work about this, about I want to be able to do this stuff. And the more I did that, the more kind of it fed into that unhappiness. So that was the third sign for me that I'd outgrown my job, because my mind was just on my passions, on my dreams, on the things that I really wanted to do, on my purpose, and that far outweighed the paycheck. So, those things, I think, for me, they might be different for you. For you, it might be you don't enjoy your job anymore, or whatever it is. But for me, those were the three signs that I had outgrown my job. And there probably was more than that, but these are just three things that I can think of off the top of my head. Now, what I found that was important was, did I want to stay in that state, or did I want to move on? And to get out of that state of being unhappy and moving on from them signs, what did I do with it? What I did with it was that I started to plan what I wanted to do and take steps to do that. But I will definitely be talking to you about that in another video. So as I said, those are my 3 signs that it may be time to leave your job. That was my 3 signs. I hope that you found them helpful. Think about, if you're somebody who finds themselves in this position where you're just in a job just because of a paycheck, you're not getting any joy out of it, you're not, there isn't any kind of room to grow or to develop, I would just say to you just to think about what it is that you want to do, because it's really kind of unfair to yourself to stay in a state of unhappiness or being unfulfilled. Life is too short to spend our time just drifting by. So have a think about what you want to do, and I hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you on the next video.